Okay. I turn these on last because as soon as they come on, I start sweating. Now stand over there. Let me see. See how good that came out?
Yeah, it looks good.
Let's see. Let's see. Got you here. There you go. How about that?
That works.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it is recording. So
we're running, huh?
Yeah. My story is. My mom died when I was 14. I made arrangements for her funeral, did everything.
So
picked her dress.
Siblings or
I have younger. My dad wasn't living with us. I lived with my granddad, who was my dad. He was. Yeah. I was daddy's girl.
Yeah.
I was
and where was this?
In South Carolina.
Okay.
I was a true daddy's girl, and so with my granddad, and he moved in with us when my mom died, and I have a sister and two brothers, one older and one younger. The sister's younger, and so I left South Carolina when I was 1983. Didn't look back.
By yourself?
Yep, I went to New York. To sing. I was on this journey for my whole life to sing. The Spirit told me when I was a child, when I was young, that I would leave South Carolina. I used to sit out there and talk, to the stars, lay in the grass and talk to the stars under the oak tree. And so I ended up moving to New York. I ended up getting a job for an electronics company. Moved to Long Island because I was living in Queens, in Jamaica, Queens, in a basement apartment. And
you sure this isn't a movie? I think this.
I know it would make a great movie.
Wouldn't it?
Yes, because I ended up you get this. Jamaica scared me because it was just really ghetto, and so I got a job in Manhasset, and so I started looking for a place closer to where I worked because I was in Queens, but I worked on Long Island.
And you were going for, I'm guessing, going for auditions and things like that?
Well, no, I didn't. I left to sing. I didn't go. I used to go out with friends at work to bars and stuff,
and
but I
sing
didn't.
There, maybe.
Yeah, I did. First song I sang was The Rose, and I sounded like a strangled chicken. But anyways, so I went to New York and ended up finding an apartment, a studio apartment over a garage in Port Washington, which was right next to Manhasset on Manhasset Bay. And fortunately for me, the people that owned the house, it was a great big English Tudor home with ivy vines all over the place, and they had the flowers planted to where they change color all throughout the season. But anyways, they didn't want to sell their home, and their kids were in college at Brown. And there was a Jewish family. And so he was the vice president of Con Ed.
Oh. And
she was a corporate attorney. And so they had a little dog bandit, a little poodle, and they wanted me. I had the studio was my apartment, but I could live in the house if I wanted to. And it was big, huge 5-6 bedroom, twirl staircase, grand piano in the living room, a lanai, And so I lived there for 5 years, and when they sold the house, they sold it only on the condition that whoever bought it would keep me as a tenant.
That's wonderful.
Well, they had a bunch of people looking at it, and there was this one snooty lady that wanted it, but she didn't want to keep me as a tenant. They did not sell it to her.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, they did not sell it to her. They ended up, but look at what they ended up selling it to. They sold it to an entertainment attorney. And so for the 5 years that I lived in their house, I got that because they were attorneys. In the basement, which is where I did my laundry, in their basement was an entire law library. And so I started studying copyright law and entertainment law. This was before they sold the house to the entertainment attorney. And because I copyrighted my first piece of material when I had moved to New York. They were having the centennial celebration, and Governor Cuomo, Mario Cuomo, was the governor, and so I wrote a poem called "Lady Cries Out," And it was a tribute to the Statue of Liberty because they were doing the celebration. I wanted to participate in the celebration. So, and the lady cries out, goes, 100 years has passed us by. Yes, the centennial year, victory and triumph, hard work, and many tears. Lady Liberty, love, creator, and fine matriarch may she be, wants all to have that bond of unity. Proudly, the highest of goals has been reached, but there's still one goal we need to meet. Millions of people, and what do I see? I see good times and bad, happy times and sad. Because of the negativism in the world today, I see unity slowly fading away. It shouldn't be this way. Come to me, I am the ears that hear that which is not being heard. Come to me, I am the eyes that see that which is not being seen. Come to me, I am the voice that speak for those who would want to speak. Come to me, I am the Statue of Liberty. I am the bond of unity.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and Governor Cuomo.
And it's, I think it even is more appropriate now.
Well, 20 years to the day 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
And that was that whole thing all over again.
Yeah.
And so I ended up moving out to California because the job I had, I got transferred out there and found a place out there. Still wasn't singing, just work. So I went to Europe 3 times, Australia 3 times, and around the world in 3 days one time.
So this is maybe too personal, but where'd you get all this money to do all
I worked. And my travels, well, when I traveled to Europe and Australia, the business paid for my travels. My boss, who was in New York, which is my best friend's husband, his wife ended up becoming my best friend because we worked together. But anyways, so, and we're still friends to this day. But what happened is that he had this customer in the Bahamas, and he said, if you get this account, you can go to the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. So, because he'd been trying to get that account for years, and that account was not budging. Yeah. Within a few weeks, he placed a $10,000 order.
Now, what was...
I was selling electronic components.
Okay.
That go into, well, the electronic components that we sold went into aircraft and satellites and submarines and military components. I had to write up all of the quality control procedures because I ended up getting huge customers like Lockheed and Martin Marietta and all of those customers. I got in Australia. I ended up getting, I used to get all these quotes, and he'd go, you never get this order, you never get this order. Well, I had this little theory in my head that if I worked during my customers' business hours, my overseas customers' business hours, that while America was sleeping, I'd be getting the business. And lo and behold, that's exactly what I did. I was on that phone to Australia, and then when Australia was done, I was on the phone with Europe, and I was just, it was like I was there with them during the day, so they were giving me the quotes and the bids, and we ended up getting all those orders. So all those places that I got orders, I was going.
Well, that's great.
And so I ended up starting my own business out in California, and it took off too fast. Mm-hmm. It was called Aerospace 2000, and this was in the 80s. Wow. I was already looking ahead, and it wasn't that it wasn't successful. It was too successful too soon. Yeah. Because there's a reverse effect. If you get, it does you no good to get
too much business where you can't control it.
You can't control it, and you can't keep up with the shipments.
Yeah.
And it was just me and a couple of employees. I got burnt out because I was doing Europe. Mm-hmm. I was doing Europe and then Australia. And then while America was awake, I had to be getting prices for the quotes that I could talk to the customers about, and
sure.
So I ended up going, I remember before I went to Tennessee, I went to England, and it was a mental vacation. It was at Christmas time, and that was when I decided that I was going to just give it all up and come to Tennessee to sing. So I came to Tennessee, gave up everything, came to Tennessee with 6 bags of luggage and a microphone. With that, this journey started again. So I was out singing then, and then I ended up quitting my job because I thought I was going to make it in country music after I got that standing ovation. And then I ended up having to go back to work because I didn't have money to pay the bills. And and it was always a money issue
Sure.
when it came to, you know, a singing career. And so what ended up happening though is that God works the way He works, and you don't know why He's working the way He does until you do.
Yeah.
And so what happened is that when I didn't have work, what I did was, the first time I didn't have work, because I always thought I was going to jump into because your heart tells you this is what you're supposed to do. And so I ended up getting a job as a temp. But as a temp, I didn't work like a temp. I worked like a full-time employee, because when I went to my customers, they didn't want me to leave. Mm-hmm. So I stayed busy. It was just like I couldn't be out of work a second because my customers kept me, or the new ones wanted me.
Yeah.
And so I even got vacation pay and everything being a temp. And so I ended up working for Acuff Rose Publishing, Opryland Music Group. I ended up working for broadcast music. I ended up working for the Nashville Network, the Country Music Television.
So based on that, I've got it figured out. You're 83 years old, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You've lived a full life.
Right, but at the same time, because music was my goal, and so I didn't have a job. So God opened up those doors for the publishing, the royalties collecting. I worked as an account. First job in the music business was working in the vault at Acuff Rose Publishing, owned by Owen Bradley, and my job was to look at the wills of the dead songwriters and see who is supposed to be collecting the royalties and make sure that the proper family member was getting the royalties. And they called it the vault, and that's exactly, where I started. And then I went up into accounting, and I worked in royalty accounting. And then in 1999, I started my publishing company, Affinity Publishing Group. And then in 2000, we became incorporated. And so that started and didn't make money. I started doing the tapes and the slides and stuff too. That was in 2000. Yeah. And so, well, actually I had started it before then, but when I really did it as a business in 2000 with my business. So with my corporation, I ended up getting fictitious names or assumed names for the corporation. So my corporation, Affinity Publishing Group, is now Affinity Publishing Group, Excelsius Media, Excelsius Music, Honky Tonk Network, the Dusty Rhodes Show, which is what we're doing now, and
I should call you
Affinity Dusty, yeah,
I'll call you Dusty,
and Affinity Ministries, and but the company still didn't have any kind of funding because I'm still just a singer trying to make it, and even though I had good jobs, I ended up working in IT, and there's not a software that is out there that I can't figure out. Yeah. And God, that was from Him. Thank the Lord, because that's what kept me going when I was working, because I could always find work until I couldn't. And so when I came to Florida, by the time I came to Florida, it was just, it was a rough road. Even with everything that it seemed that I had, I didn't have anything. And so I ended up coming to Florida, and I came to Florida with a home and a job. Where in Tennessee, I went for almost a year where nobody would hire me. And when that happens, when you're a skilled person, that's because you're not on the path that God wants you to be on. And that's exactly what it was. So, because when I came to Florida, everything flipped. And the reason that I came to Florida, I had a friend here for one thing, but I had sold all my furniture to take this job in Montgomery, Alabama, get down there and they provided the apartment and the job, so I was fine to just get rid of everything and move to Montgomery. Fired me the first day. Oh, jeez. Guess what? And I was talking to a friend of mine, And she said, well, why don't you just stay down there and figure out? I said, no. I said, I'm not going to be homeless in a strange city.
Yeah.
So I ended up going back to Tennessee that very same day, and nowhere to go. I stayed with a friend of mine, and still started applying for more jobs. Nobody would hire me. So I said, you know what? I had a dream one night where this lady in dark sunglasses, she said, in the dream, she was in a convertible, and a white convertible, and she asked me, she said, no, she didn't ask, she said, come here, I want to show you something, and get in, I want to show you something. So I got in the car and went with her. And it was right after that I said, you know what, I'm going to see if I can find a job in Florida, because I knew somebody down here, Lonnie, my friend Lonnie. And so when I looked for, I sent out 3 resumes, got calls on all 3, interviews on 2, and hired by 1. But at the 3rd interview on the 2nd one, because the city of Kissimmee wanted me, and then BBA Aviation wanted me, and BBA Aviation, Erica, who's now one of my best friends, she ended up hiring me when I was on an interview with Kissimmee, and she knew I was on an interview that day, so she just went ahead. So I came to Florida, and then I was looking for places, and I had my friend Lonnie go and check out these homes, because you don't know when you're out of it, you know, you don't know if it's a fake or. Right. So she went and looked at this place that I had picked out in Finney, and she just was like, oh, you ain't gonna believe this, oh, it's beautiful, blah 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 blah. Well, I didn't have any money to get a place. She ended up giving the money, putting the money down for the place, and he checked out, you know, my references and everything, and I ended up coming to Florida with a home that nobody ever lived in, because they bought the house to rent it. Wow. And they had just built it. So I had a brand new house that no one lived in, and I had a job in Orlando. And for 2 years, I commuted back and forth.
How far is that?
Orlando?
Well, no, I'm from Finney, did you say? Yeah,
from Finney.
How far a drive is that?
That was an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, because we ended up moving. Our office went to Lake Nona.
Okay, well, I can relate a little bit to I was an hour to an hour and 15 minutes for 9 years.
Yeah.
9 years.
And it was
each way.
Yeah. It was a rough ride for me, because I was on all this medication for my blood pressure and everything, and I mean, I could barely keep awake to drive, and I was swelling like crazy. And so since January, I got off all my meds. Yeah. And I lost, since January, I've lost 57 pounds.
Wow, wonderful.
Yes, I didn't know that till I went to the doctor. And I had, because I just stopped, the medicine was killing me. Sure. It was the blood pressure medicine was making me swell. We tried 10 or 12 different types of blood pressure medicine. Nothing was working. Yeah. But what was happening is that, yes, my blood pressure tends to run high, but the effect of the medicine was worse than the cure. And I knew my body, and I kept telling, I said, this medicine's making me swell, and it really was, because when I got off of it,
it's amazing.
The weight started dropping. Yeah. And I was knocking on 400 pounds. I had gotten up to like 333 pounds. Yeah. And if I hadn't gotten off of it, I would probably be dead right now. Yep. And people go, oh, you can't stop your medicine. Yes, you can. Yeah.
No, that's right. And sometimes combinations of medicines.
Yes, that was it too, because the heart medicine. Yeah. Well. So, let's just say our opening thing. When I just say, we're gonna say Affinity Publishing Group and the Honky Tonk Network proudly presents the Dusti Roadshow. Now you gotta say that with me, because I use it for outtakes. Oh, okay. I use the stuff that I don't use on the show will end up featuring, because I'll interview you, and it'll be a long interview, and only a few minutes is going to show up. And then I got footage that I'll like for commercials and things like that to show people who are going to be on the show what the show is and what's coming up. And so I'm going to say Affinity Publishing Group and Honky Tonk Network proudly presents the Dusty Rhodes Show. So ready? Affinity Publishing Group and the Honky Tonk Network proudly presents the Dusty Rhodes Show. Yay!
Hey, Dusty.
Yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, Affinity Publishing Group and the Honky Tonk Network proudly present the Dusty Rhodes Show. And here's your host, Dusty Rhodes.
She walked up to the bar and asked me for my name. I said, most call me Dusty, so I guess that's what it must be. I think I should have it changed. Old Faithful is my game. When you're around town and you're running around, I'll be sitting home by the phone,